Now, I know this is going to be a hot take, and anyone over the age of 25 or 30 is probably going to hate me after this video, but I truly believe that school has ruined the progression of the average kid in life. I think that school has done me and you a disservice, and it's not taught us the things that could have been most effective to help us live the life that we want to live. And I've got 4 ways that I really think school has done this, and 4 ways I think you can turn the clock back and start having the success that you could have had school not kind of brainwashed you. But I want to be honest. I struggled through school, and I don't mean grade-wise. I got great grades. I had pretty much all A's until late high school, and then college I kind of just skirted by. But I struggled, meaning it was hard for me to find purpose in life. And I was not happy most of my days. Like, I did not wake up and look forward to living life. And most of that was because of school. You see, I was born with this natural, obsession, ambition, whatever you want to call it. Most of you guys watching this have it, where you just can't even stand the thought of being average. And you might not realize that some people are the complete opposite. I know it's weird because you've only been you your whole life, but there are genuinely some people who want nothing more than to just be an average person and live a decent, great life. And there's no shame in that, but I believe that God had just made people differently, and people want different things. And for people like me and probably you, school did us a massive disservice because it throttled all that potential we had in a couple different ways. And the first way is the fear of failure. You see, school makes it where if you fail, that's the worst thing that can happen in school. But after graduating college with a business degree and then going and starting a business, I can tell you that there's nothing more profitable than failure and learning from that mistake. And so when I got out of school, I was scared to fail throughout my whole life. I didn't want failure. But failure is how you learn. There's no other way to do it. How does a child learn how to walk? Well, they stand up and they fall over. Their parents pick them back up and they try again and again and again. How do you learn how to ride a bike? You fail and you get back up and you try again and again and again. And school develops this natural fear of failure that's causing you to not live the full life you could be. And thankfully, I managed to get over this fear pretty quickly once I graduated. But I see a lot of you guys and my friends who still have this fear. They're so scared of the what if and what if this fails that they don't realize that failure is the only way to learn. Currently, I'm working on a brand new course in my program, and I'm getting annoyed because it's really difficult to make this version 3 of this course, and I have to remind myself and look back. It's come such a long way from the first version a year ago. And even this new version, that's probably going to be a failure in my eyes, is better than anything I could have ever imagined making just a year ago. But that failure raises the bar of what I deem to be acceptable. And if you continue doing that over time, you reach greatness because your threshold of failure has gotten so high, it's higher than everyone else's. What you consider a failure is what everyone else considers to be exceptional and great. But school ruins that. It takes away your fear of failure. And so I just want to encourage you, do not be scared to fail, because in the real world, that's the only way you learn. If you ever want to start a business, you'll figure this out the hard way, man. But I don't know any other way to have a successful business. I don't know a single person who has a successful business for a long time that wasn't handed to them that they did not fail a lot before that business actually took off. Same story with me and all my friends. The second thing is school throttles obsession. So it does this in 2 ways. One, it tells you what you have to learn. You have to learn these certain subjects. And to an extent, that can be a good thing because math, English, stuff like that, the early days of math and English are vital. If you don't learn how to read and write, then you're shot. And so that is extremely leveraged. But as soon as you get out of primary school, you start doing things in middle school and high school, you're learning this stuff that, man, honestly, you're never going to use. And ChatGPT knows it 40 times better than you do. So you using your brain power trying to learn log equations is a complete waste of time. Complete. So that's the first thing. It throttles your obsession into certain categories that you aren't naturally obsessed about. And so for me, I got super obsessed with video games. Not saying that's a great obsession, but I got obsessed with video games and sports and all these things. And I got into graphic design. But instead of learning anything around graphic design or any of this, I was forced to do, AP history. And I can't tell you a single thing that happened from that class. Why? Because the way that learning works is you have a goal, and as you set that goal, your mind becomes aware of all of these shiny pieces of data that could potentially help you reach that goal. So for instance, I wanted to grow on YouTube. Why? Maybe it was status, maybe it was money, maybe it was to genuinely serve people, a lot of different reasons. And when I set that goal to grow a YouTube channel, all of a sudden, my brain starts paying attention to different things. I start caring about cameras. I start caring about microphones. I start caring about lighting. I start caring about which software to edit my videos. If I had not set that goal of YouTube, none of that stuff would have been valuable in my mind, and I wouldn't have learned it because my brain didn't see it as valuable. And that's kind of the issue with school. They don't sell you on these concepts. So your brain never thinks, oh, this is valuable. In fact, you just hate it. What's funny is my brother-in-law, he's in 8th grade, and we were asking him last night, like, what he learned in school, and he just like, I don't know, nothing. And then I asked him a question. I said, what's the least important thing you learned in school? And he was like, oh, yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you. Like, he couldn't recall a single thing he did that day, and he probably could have thought hard and thought of something, but there was nothing he was excited to tell us about. Genuinely nothing. Versus when you're obsessed about something, you'll find that you just can't shut up about it. Why do you think I make freaking 10-minute videos every day of my life? Every day. It's because I can't stop yapping about online business and succeeding in life and self-improvement and just winning. I freaking love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's and the skills God's given me. I just can't stop doing crap like this. But school throttled that. And so school makes you scared of failing and scared to learn. And then also, they put you on a time frame. This is the craziest part. I understand logistically that this is kind of how this happens. But going forward, hopefully, what technology will do for us, hopefully I didn't just screw up the focus of the camera. I'm hoping with the scale of technology now, that soon school will slowly start turning into a video game. Meaning, you can get obsessed and you can play it as fast as you want. So for kids like me, I learned very quickly of things that I care about. Even stuff that I didn't really care about, I would learn it fast just so I could go home and trick shot on Black Ops 2. And so having to go to school for this amount of time doesn't make any sense. All that should matter is, did you learn the stuff? Yes or no? The time frame doesn't matter. Because think about it, if you could learn the same concepts to the same depth in 4 years or 1 year, which one would you and the world rather want? 1 year. Imagine you didn't have to go to college for 4 years. You could just go for 6 months if you learned everything. And then you could go on and provide value to the world and do something else with your life. And so it throttles obsession in those two ways. One, through not letting you go into these natural rabbit holes that you find yourself getting obsessed over. And two, by spreading out all this information over an arbitrary time period just because. It's silly. It should be at your own pace. If you want to learn fast, go fast. If you learn slower, learn slower. And the third thing is school teaches principles, albeit not a whole lot of them are extremely useful past 4th grade, I would say. But they teach principles, and then they don't teach tactics. So I've talked about this in past videos, but the way that I see that the world works currently, this could completely change. I'm an idiot, guys, so this could be different. But the way that I see it right now, it's made me like 500K online, is you have first principles, then you have the environment, then you have tactics built on the environment and first principles. So for instance, in this video, you saw a thumbnail and a title, and in this thumbnail, I was wearing this green hat, which complements the orange in the background. The principle there would be like the color wheel and contrasting colors. Our eyes find certain colors aesthetically pleasing. That's the first principle. It just is the way it is. But wearing the green hat is a tactic. Should every person on YouTube ever wear a green hat? No. It just so happens that it matches my environment, which is orange, and it's authentic, meaning like I'm not putting anything in the thumbnail, I'm wearing it in the video, so it comes across as authentic, which is another first principle. And so the first principle are the things that you build tactics on. And school teaches first principles, but no tactics. So another tangible example is I started college as a graphic design major. But it was about 6 months in when I asked a friend of mine who was a senior, I said, when do we use Photoshop? Because that's why I went to school for, to learn Photoshop. And they said, I think I might have used it once on my senior project. And I said, what? You mean to tell me in all 4 years of graphic design school, they don't teach Photoshop? And I dropped out of that college the next day, or like the next week. And I went to business school, which wasn't much better. But the thing with school is they need to teach you principles, but then also teach you updated tactics. Just like it's so goofy how they most schools ban ChatGPT. But the world is not going to ban ChatGPT. In fact, the world is loving ChatGPT because it's so efficient. So why not teach kids how to use ChatGPT? It's crazy. Teach them the principles, but also teach them the new tactics. Anyways, the last one is can hurt people's feelings, but you have to just kind of face reality. And it's a sad reality, but it is what it is. Reality is reality. The truth is the truth, and it doesn't change anything. It depends on how you feel. And school has made it kind of acceptable for participation trophies. So right now, everyone thinks if they just get a college degree, they'll make money. And I can tell you firsthand from myself and my friends, it's not true. The world does not work in participation trophies. The world works off of value. Are you adding value? Are you the best in the market? See, when you get into any kind of competition, like running a business or sports, whatever, you'll soon realize that the world is just simply competitive. There are no participation trophies. There's no other way. And school can be can cause this massive blind spot in this distorted view of reality to think that once you get out, people just owe you money. People just have to pay you money because, you got a degree and you went to school for 20 years. It's just not true. The market rewards those who add value to it, who play a functional role in the ecosystem, those who solve a problem in the market. And so, those are the 3 things or 4 things. So fear of failure, throttle obsession, principles and tactics, and participation trophies. It's more of a rant in this video, but I just want people to see school for what it is. And I'm not saying it's not a viable option. There's certain paths where you have to go to school and you should go to school. I just want people to just think, to critically think. And I know that's dangerous to tell people to critically think because you're going to get Socrates'd. But just think for yourself. Just because things have always been done this way, is that the best way? That's the question you should ask. So anyways, hopefully you guys are encouraged to learn something online. I would love to be someone who teaches you online for free with these videos. You don't have to pay me any tuition. You don't have to stay here for 4 years. You can learn as quick or slow as you want. But I'd love to help you make your first $1,000 online. That's why this channel exists. And I've got 3 playlists: skills, beliefs, and getting clients. I think that if you can learn those 3 things, those concepts very well, you can make some good money online. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.